The vengeful spirits of Mondulkiri. A silent night enveloped the bus as it wound its way toward the lush province of Mondulkiri. Among the students on this educational field trip was Sopha, a polite young man with a disarming smile, but deep within his heart lurked hidden greed. Around his neck hung a silver necklace with a 3-star pendant, a family heirloom passed down through generations. Sometimes in the moonlight, the pendant seemed to pulse with an unnatural light, as if alive. The journey to Mondulkiri was arduous, with rugged roads that twisted like serpents through darkness. As they traveled deeper into the mountains, phones lost signal, isolating them from the outside world. The bus driver muttered under his breath, "The forest never welcomes outsiders." They arrived at a wooden guest house with a weathered tile roof, nestled in a quiet indigenous village. The village seemed eerily still, no children playing, no elders chatting. Only hollow-eyed villagers who quickly retreated behind locked doors as the students disembarked. The guest house was an old, creaky structure with walls stained with dark smudges resembling handprints. The air carried a musty scent of aged wood mixed with something metallic and sickly sweet. Dim electric lights flickered erratically, casting monstrous shadows that seemed to move independently of their sources. Small, curtainless windows opened to the night, and sometimes pale faces seemed to peer in before vanishing. That first night, Adith, Sopha's close friend, awoke to persistent knocking on the bathroom door. When he opened it, he found no one there, only a cold breeze carrying the scent of decay and a wet footprint that slowly evaporated before his eyes. Hurriedly, he shut the door and hid under his blanket, trembling. Sopha, seemingly undisturbed, had a strange smile flickering across his face in the dark, his pendant glowing softly against his chest. The next night, terror struck another friend, Kim-san. While wandering alone outside, he saw a woman perched on a tree stump at the forest's edge. Her pale figure was ghostly in the moonlight, her long black hair cascading over her face. She slowly tilted her head at an impossible angle, her neck cracking loudly. She began to crawl down the stump like an insect, limbs bending backward at unnatural angles. When she reached the ground, her hair parted slightly, revealing one bloodshot eye fixed on Kim-san. A moan escaped her lips, revealing blackened gums and rotted teeth. His body went cold, and he fled back to his room, feeling icy fingers brush the back of his neck. When he could finally speak again, he simply repeated, "She knows what he did." That same night, another student, Moni, woke paralyzed in her bed as the sheets slowly pulled themselves down. In the corner of the ceiling, a dark shape huddled, watching her with gleaming eyes. It crawled toward her, leaving a trail of black liquid that dripped onto the floor. Just before it reached her, Moni broke free from the paralysis and screamed, sending the thing scuttling back into darkness. On the third day, the group visited an ancient burial site on a nearby hill. The path was lined with towering trees whose branches intertwined overhead like gnarled fingers. Strange whispers echoed from all directions, as if many voices spoke in an unknown language. Several students felt invisible hands touching their shoulders or tugging at their clothes. At the burial site, ancient stones were arranged in patterns that seemed to shift when viewed peripherally. Their guide, a reluctant villager, warned them not to touch anything or separate from the group. "The dead here are not at peace," he cautioned. "They hunger for justice." As afternoon waned, dark clouds gathered with unnatural speed. Dark shadows darted between trees and stones, sometimes taking forms that resembled emaciated human figures. One student saw a pregnant woman standing among the graves, her belly grotesquely swollen, her eyes hollow pits leaking black tears. When she pointed at the group, birds erupted from trees in panic. During their stay, Sopha spoke with old Panyo, an elderly villager living at the village's edge. The old man stared at Sopha's necklace with sorrow and anger. "You should not have brought that cursed thing back here," he whispered. "It carries the blood of many." He recounted how Sopha's great-grandfather, a servant to a wealthy landowner, murdered his master for his treasure in the 1950s. To eliminate witnesses, he poisoned the other servants during a feast, including Panyo's pregnant sister, who died cursing Sopha's bloodline. The murderer stole his master's treasures, including the 3-star pendant, a key to the location of greater treasure hidden in the burial grounds. "The spirits of the slain still roam these forests," Panyo warned. "They've been waiting for someone of your bloodline to return. They've been calling to you through that pendant, haven't they? Showing you visions of treasure in your dreams." Sopha's blood ran cold, for the old man had described exactly what he'd been experiencing. Panyo gripped his wrist with icy fingers. "Leave this place before the night of the blood moon. Return the pendant to the burial ground and beg forgiveness. If you seek the treasure for yourself, you will suffer a fate worse than death." But greed had sunk its claws too deeply into Sopha's heart. That night, as his classmates huddled together in the common room, Sopha slipped away. The blood moon hung low in the sky, bathing the landscape in crimson. Clutching a small flashlight, he followed a path to the burial site and began digging frantically near a grave marked with 3 notches, just like his pendant. Edith, suspicious and worried, had followed him. "Sopha, stop!" he cried. "You're disturbing sacred ground." They argued fiercely, struggling at the edge of the excavation. Enraged, Sopha pushed Edith, who tumbled over a nearby cliff but caught a tree branch jutting from the rock face. Injured and in pain, Edith soon lost consciousness. After betraying his friend, Sopha returned to his digging with renewed desperation. The pendant burned against his skin now, seeming to fuse to his chest. As his shovel struck a metal box, the night itself seemed to hold its breath. Then the torment began. The spirits emerged with terrible vengeance. Countless black shadows materialized, swirling around him like a cyclone. Ghostly hands reached for him, leaving frost-burned welts on his skin. The ground cracked, revealing glimpses of writhing figures below. The spirits appeared in horrifying forms, headless torsos dripping spectral blood, faces half rotted away with maggots writhing in empty eye sockets. They crowded around him, whispering his name in voices like breaking glass. Most terrifying was the pregnant woman who materialized before him, Panyo's sister. Her belly was grotesquely distended and translucent, revealing the ghostly form of an unborn child moving with unnatural awareness. Her eyes leaked black tears that left smoking trails down her cheeks. "Return what was stolen," she hissed, her voice a chorus of many, "or join us in eternal torment." Overwhelmed with terror, Sopha's mind unraveled. The pendant sank deeper into his chest, blood seeping around its edges. He screamed and fled blindly into the forest, the horde of spirits pursuing him. His foot slipped on a moss-covered rock and he plummeted into a ravine, his scream fading as he fell. 3 days later, a search party found both young men. Edith was severely injured but alive. Sopha was found at the bottom of the ravine, his body broken but somehow still breathing. The pendant had disappeared, leaving a star-shaped scar burned into his chest. His eyes were open but saw nothing of this world. Old Paño took one look at Sopha and shook his head sadly. His body lives, he told the worried teachers, but his soul belongs to them now. In the hospital back in Phnom Penh, doctors found no physical cause for Sopha's condition. He spent his days staring at things no one else could see, occasionally reaching out to touch invisible presences. At night, staff would find him standing at his window, looking toward Mondulkiri, whispering names of people long dead. His chilling tale became a grim lesson, passed down as a warning about greed and the vengeance of tormented souls. The village in Mondulkiri continued to guard its dark secrets, the whispering winds carrying voices of spirits that never strayed far from the ancient burial grounds, where a treasure remained hidden, waiting for its rightful owner. And on nights when the moon glows red, locals say they see a procession of ghostly figures leading a confused young man toward the burial site, his chest bearing a 3-star mark that glows with an unearthly light. By morning, fresh dirt appears on the ancient graves as if someone or something has been digging.